Welcome. Thank you for joining us for our 47th annual Salute celebration and our very first virtual fundraiser. We're here today to honor our resilient communities. The YWNYC is one of the nation's oldest nonprofit organizations committed to the personal and social development of women, their families, and their communities. In honor of our long history and in service of our mission, we currently provide leadership and advocacy training for young women through our Girls Initiatives program and youth development through our Out of School Time program for elementary and middle school students in culturally diverse communities in Brooklyn and Manhattan. We're delighted that you're joining us today and have created a program that we think is inspiring, uplifting, and one designed to give you a glimpse of what we do. We would love to stay connected with you, so please look out for opportunities during the program to do just that and join us in our important work. In the wake of an ongoing pandemic and the social unrest we have seen over the summer, now more than ever, we need to support each other, our communities, and those in need. Your support is vital to helping us continue to fulfill our mission to eliminate racism and empower women. Please dig deep, give generously, and help to make sure that our community continues to thrive. I also want to give a very special and heartfelt thank you to the staff of the Y. Without you, we simply could not do this work. You are the heartbeat of everything that we do. Thank you.
Powerful words you just heard were by Tracy High, our board chair. Hello, everyone. My name is Naima, and I will be your host this evening. And I am so grateful to be here and delighted, coming to you live from Greenwich Village. I have been very active on many educational, social justice, and personal liberty issues in my lifetime. So the work that the YWCA of the City of New York does to eliminate racism and empower women strikes a chord in my heart. And I am especially proud to be hosting an event that honors the resilient communities through one of the most challenging times in recent decades. Over the past week, I have learned a lot about the many different programs that the YW supports: academic achievement, enhance social skills, embrace cultural diversity, develop leadership skills, and foster self-esteem. And since I have been a trained mindfulness meditation teacher for over 20 years, I'm particularly drawn to their Everyday Heroes program, which encourages mindfulness and self-expression through meditation and theater. Now, over the next 50 minutes, you'll have the opportunity to see students in action in all of these programs and hear from the staff that makes it possible. So I hope you will open your hearts, and I can't resist it, I'm going to say it, and your wallets, your piggy banks, whatever you got. There, I've said it. We need your support. And now it gives me great pleasure to welcome the CEO of the YWCA of the City of New York, Maureen Fryer. Welcome, Maureen.
Thank you, Naima. We're so glad to have you as our host today.
Thank you, and I'm so happy to be here. Maureen, with all of the work that the YW does for our children in our community, what is your motivation? What gets you up in the morning to do this? This is not easy.
Great question, but the answer for me is just really clear, Naima. It's the kids.
Yes.
If they can get up every day, go to school, wear their masks, deal with this virus, deal with all the trauma that's going on in our city and neighborhoods, then I certainly can. And I'm motivated to make sure that the YW delivers programs that give kids opportunities and gives them support and gives them love and the ability to work with adults and play with each other and learn new skills so that their lives are enriched during this challenging year.
Yes, it is a challenging time. And I know you have some more pearls of wisdom to share with our audience. So, what else are we going to experience today?
Well, normally around this time of year, we would be gathered together saluting several women leaders who have made significant contributions in their personal and professional lives and who share the YW's mission of eliminating racism and empowering women. But of course, these are not normal times. The current pandemic has changed all of our lives, with the greatest impact being felt among underserved communities. So we're gathering this year safely on our computers with the mission of applauding the people who have been so resilient in this past year and all those who buttress that resiliency through their dedication and personal sacrifice, especially on behalf of the children in those communities. Back in March, when we were at the height and the epicenter of the pandemic in New York and we shut down, the YW, like all schools and after schools, had to go remote, and it was a daunting task. But we did it. And I'm proud to say we were able to convert our programming to remote learning for students and try to support families with resources and wellness checks and just support. So today, this is going to be about the children's stories, our neighborhoods, our schools, and communities. And I would just like you to enjoy hearing firsthand from all those who benefit from our leadership after school and summer camp programs. We're going to start off with a video produced by Heat and Deloitte back in the spring when we were fully remote.
Hello. Thank you all for taking some time to join us on this call.
During this time of COVID remote learning and Black Lives Matter protests, I've never been more inspired and motivated to work harder and smarter for my students.
The youth needs us more than ever. I am here to inspire, motivate, and educate.
So what we're going to do is we are going to chant, I am powerful,
I am powerful,
because I train in peace.
because I'm trained in peace.
There's a lot happening in the country these days, but being able to talk to all of you is always really inspiring.
I love you and I believe in you, and I think that you can be anything that you want to be.
No matter what anyone tells you, no matter how small anyone makes you feel, you matter. Your voice, your emotions, everything about you matters.
The YWCA of the City of New York is dedicated to eliminating racism, empowering women, and promoting peace, justice, freedom, and dignity for all. Nobody's free until everybody's free.
It was an easy decision. The question of making resiliency a key component of our students' learning, that was a no-brainer. What an incredible year we have all had. The pandemic, the highlighting of injustice in our country through one horrific act, and the subsequent protest. The inequalities that were exposed even more in healthcare, housing, and basic wages. I kept thinking of this one thought. How does a young child process all this and still maintain hope? We often say that children are resilient, and they are. But as educators, we have to make sure to allow space for students to talk and learn about building a resilient personality. And that learning has to be consistent. It was not too long ago in 2012 that our same Coney Island community was ravaged by Hurricane Sandy. These are the same families who are now confronting another set of challenges. How we all navigate a crisis or traumatic event depends in large part on how resilient we are. I read a great definition of resilience the other day. It said, you can think of resilience as the ability to recover from difficult experiences and setbacks, to adapt, move forward, and sometimes even experience growth. So It mentioned that resilience is a set of skills that can be and often is learned. As a principal, I believe it is our duty to teach those skills. They are just as important as reading and writing.
How powerful was that? I love the definition of resilience. The ability to recover from difficult experiences and setbacks, to adapt, move forward, and sometimes even experience growth. And what I've learned in my own personal life through challenges is that it takes resilience sometimes to learn from the experience. And as a teacher who has taught both students and other teachers, I can fully appreciate how we can become stronger through the challenges we face. Now, isn't it wonderful that there are people like Principal Hawkins who are committed to teaching the skills that make resiliency possible, and that the YW is providing invaluable support for those efforts? And now I encourage you to support the YW efforts. From time to time, you will see ways you can donate by text, phone, online. Please consider making a donation today. And now it's my pleasure to introduce one of the YW's valued supporters, Barbara Felker of Northwell Health.
I'm Barbara Felker, Vice President of Strategic Community Partnerships at Northwell Health. The COVID-19 pandemic disproportionately affected Black, Brown, and Latinx communities who were already very vulnerable given their high unmet social needs that existed prior to the pandemic. These social adversities are associated with poor health and increased mortality. Strategies to improve health and reduce disparities have focused on addressing social, economic, and environmental factors, demonstrating that community partnerships are effective in making a difference in the health and wellness of communities. The YWCA has partnered with communities to offer a variety of programs that expose young women and girls to opportunities, skills, and careers that are instrumental in addressing the social and economic factors in these resilient communities. By offering programs that inspire, motivate, and educate young women and girls, the YWCA has been successful in preparing tomorrow's leaders. With your support, the YWCA will continue to enhance the next generation of change leaders that will make a difference in the world that we want to see. Thank you, YWCA, for your commitment to enhancing the young women and girls of our resilient communities.
My kids are resilient because they're here. Despite having to wear masks, despite having to social distance, despite knowing that so many of their friends are at home, going to school on their computers, they're here. And they're here every day. And that's a real good reflection on our parents, because our parents, despite everything that they're going through, because a lot of them, there's no choice whether or not their kids can be in school. They have to be here. So that's a direct reflection of our parents as well. That's a direct reflection of our school, whether it's the principal, school safety, all of our partners within the school, just to do everything that they have to do to make sure that this is a safe environment for these kids.
We all have come a long way. We really have. we have a lot of resilience, especially in this community and this school building, because we've gone through a lot. It's not only just this pandemic, we went through Superstorm Sandy as well, about 8 years ago or so. And I know this community withstood that, and they're doing it again here. I mean, definitely, we've come a long way, and we've done a lot. I mean, the children, the parents, and also the staff, all together, we've come together, and we do it for the children. We do it for other children. It's good to see the children again and not just on a computer screen. You know, it's good to see them in person. I mean, obviously we got to keep our distance, but we can still talk to them. We can still see how they're doing, and they can talk to us as well. And we can get that communication that's not just on the screen, but in-person communication, to see how they're doing and how their families are as well. To see them doing the work. It's good to see them doing work in person. If they need assistance, we're there for them in person to help them, you know, at that point.
So some of the challenges that I've noticed with our community, with the students, is number one, getting them up to par with their schoolwork, because schoolwork has been a huge struggle. Going remote really affected the kids, and for me, that means that I have to make sure that they're up to date with their academics. So it's homework help, it's tutoring. One of the other challenges that I've noticed is like social emotional, because we have to consistently be social distance. So that makes it difficult to get the kids to interact with each other. And that's been a challenge for program as well, because now we have to make sure that we're adhering to all of the social distancing rule, and that includes us separating art supplies, just little things like that we don't necessarily have to think of on a day-to-day basis, that makes the work challenging, but also we get to be really creative with how we meet those challenges. This has been a challenge for me also, because I'm the mother of a 6-year-old who is fully remote. So having to come in and to fully prepare for a number of kids who are remote and prepare for a number of kids who are in person that we see every single day, and then go home and have to do homework with my daughter and make sure that she's up to par, and everything that I'm giving my students, I give to her as well. You know, it's just been a challenge all around, but we have all been pushing through and doing the very best that we can, because that's all we can do.
Your best. If you try your best, then you never have to wonder about what you have done. If you summoned all your thunder, and if your best was not as good as you hoped it would be, you could still say, I gave today all I had in me.
Oh, yes, yes. You know, this reminds me of an old proverb. It does take a village to raise and to guide children. It
Sure
honestly
does.
does.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, yes,
Mm-hmm.
yes. And it sounds like you have a lot of great people giving it their all and helping raise in this village.
I sure do. The YW staff are just an amazing group of people, and I couldn't be more proud of how they've navigated this past year, how they keep showing up for the kids, how they are loving and supportive and really empathic of what everyone's going through. The YW, we work in 4 elementary schools, Naima, that are based in Brooklyn and Coney Island and
Yes.
Brownsville. And then we also have 2 middle schools where we offer after school in Carroll Gardens in Brooklyn and also West Harlem. And then we have these fabulous high school girls programs that are based on leadership, STEM, advocacy, and just help elevate their voices and their agency and their confidence to be change agents. It's
Yes.
really wonderful.
Yes. And speaking of support, let's hear some very supportive words from Congresswoman Yvette Clarke, who has represented the 9th Congressional District of New York City since 2007. She's a champion. She has championed many issues to strengthen our schools and our communities. Please enjoy.
Thank you for coming to my school. I have a few questions to ask you.
My name is Yvette D. Clark, and I'm a congresswoman. I represent the 9th Congressional District of New York, which is Central and South Brooklyn. I did. There were programs in the community where after school I could go to these programs and take dance lessons, do my homework, get tutored if there was something I had a problem with. I believe that after school programs really enrich the lives of our school students, and it really makes it possible for them to dream about different ways in which they can use their education to focus on careers they might be interested in when they get older and are ready to go to work or to start a business. After school programs are very important, and you get to socialize, right? I think that what's important is that we're not fearful. Because when you're fearful, everything looks scary, right? But courage takes you through everything in life, because oftentimes what we're fearful of is really just a mirage. You know, I learned this when I was maybe about your age. One of my teachers told me that fear stands for false evidence appearing real. So that it looks so real to you that you think that, oh my God, you know, this is not gonna end well. But oftentimes there's another way to view things, and if you are courageous enough and you persevere, you'll come through the other side of that fear stronger than you were. New Yorkers have been through a lot in the past 20 years. It's important that you see the goodness in the people who are around you during this time, and that's what makes us resilient, because we are all lifting together. We're not taking one another down. We're looking forward in hope for the future, and that's how we manifest it, because we remain hopeful. We're not pessimistic. We're not reading a doomsday forecast, but we realize that our future is in our own hands, and there are a lot of people working to make sure we have a brighter future. That's resilience.
I love that it's a great stress reliever. Like if I'm stressed about the pandemic, how it is, I could just hit the drum, make my own beat to it, and it's just nice.
So one of my favorite things I would say working here would definitely be interacting with the children, seeing their growth from like the first time when I first started working with them, and then to now. It's like you see a lot of them have progressed in a lot of different ways. Either if it's academic or social or just having respect for others or themselves, you see a big change. And that's something that makes me really love what we do.
Eliminating racism and empowering women is what Coney Island needs. Absolutely, like right off the bat. You know, it's what the world needs. And being here, I feel like it gives hope.
Did you hear about the rose that grew from the crack in the concrete?
What I like about after school is that I can play in the gym and I can get my work done so I don't have to do it at home. What I love about school is that it's a fun place. You could play with friends, play with other people. If you're having trouble, you could come to the teacher and ask them for their help.
It's fire's on, yeah. I say it goes like this. Come on.
327 is located in the Brownsville area of Brooklyn, New York, and it is typically known as a Trauma 1 neighborhood. What that means is the neighborhood itself is known for its violence. Our students face things from domestic violence, homelessness, gun violence, and police brutality. Typically, people see the people in the community as at risk. I want to speak to how we're at potential. So our students come to school during so many different challenges, and they make it every day. They're still ready to learn. They're still happy. They're still just excited, full of potential. Our students don't allow any of the challenges in the neighborhood to speak to them or for them. Therefore, they know that they can be whatever they want to be. What we try to instill in our students is just to let them know that you are not what you've been through and you are not what your community is. We are way better than that, and we can be way better than that, and we will be way better than that.
Make sure you have a mask on to keep yourself protected, nice and safe, protected, to help us and the whole community.
I'd first like to thank PS 188 and the awesome teachers, and that beautiful line that one of the students read. Did you see the rose that grew from the crack in the cement? How powerful is that? And to the young lady, Michaela, who asked some thought-provoking questions to Congresswoman Yvette Clarke. This is seeing these students in action. And it's talking about their potential. You see, these schools, this school and out of school programs are amazing. And if you care about providing young students with the kind of programs that provide a strong foundation for learning, I know from my own self, my own life, that if it wasn't for the people in my community who helped me out, I would have never known that I had the potential. Because I had adults around me who guided me and said, you can do this. So please take a moment on your phone, your computer, and make a contribution toward this effort. Every dollar counts. We're not free till everyone is free. In a few moments, you're going to learn more about the YW's Girls and Centers. But first, let us hear from Manhattan Borough President Gail Brewer, who has been an extraordinary champion of the YW for many, many years. She has fought, she has loved, she has embraced, so please enjoy.
So good afternoon, I'm Gail Brewer, Manhattan Borough President, and I'm really honored to be with the YW of New York City to celebrate with you. 15 years ago, or maybe a little bit longer, way back when I was still in the City Council, I supported the opening of your Family Resource Center for the YW right there in Hell's Kitchen. I knew the center would carry on the YW's tradition of providing a helping hand, a safe space, and sisterhood, and you've been working with the high school, Independence High School, all these many years. Now the home of your Girls Initiatives programs, it's empowered countless girls and future leaders. I'm really very proud that you got that space. Since 1858, I guess James Buchanan was then president, the YW has always been a place for gathering, particularly for young girls. The pandemic has been devastating, and it has proven, however, that the YW strength isn't its buildings, but its community. Now providing stability through mental health resources for teens and online dance parties for kids in the neighborhood hit hardest by COVID, always social distancing. So with so much uncertainty, although I'm really happy about the election, the YW is still something we can all count on. I salute your incredible work now and into the future. Thank you very much.
This is a place where you don't have to feel like uncomfortable. It's a safe space, you know, nothing that you say would, you know, leave the room.
I have the right to be safe.
I have the right to be safe.
You have the right to be safe.
You have the right to be safe.
We all have the right to be safe.
We all have the right to be safe.
The YWCA offers some powerful and creative programming for self-identified girls between the ages of 14 and 18. Drawn from across the city, the participants in our girls' initiatives are able to be in a safe place to explore issues of racial justice, gender identity, and gender-based discrimination. We do this through a series of programming throughout the year, including our signature Step In and Stop It bystander intervention training.
My name is Zaraya. I'm in the 12th grade and I've been with Girls Initiative for 3 years. I attend the Step In and Stop It program with the YW, and I've attended it all these years because I like learning about ways that I can diffuse situations. I like learning about social justice and about the ways that I can help better myself and others around me in the community.
So our focus is what is social justice and how do we challenge the implications of bias in our society? So for bystander intervention, mostly because we're at the YW who focuses on racial and gender justice, when we're thinking about achieving social justice, we're focusing on racial equality, gender equality, and thinking about the most vulnerable folks in New York City and how we can best support them in the communities that they belong to.
Geek Girls, which is an interdisciplinary program where we explore paths and careers in STEM and include arts and activism. In Geek Girls, many of the participants are able to meet with women who look like them, who are engaged in careers that they might not otherwise be exposed to.
Because we're going to explore Afrofuturistic visuals and explore how we could potentially make like an object that would be used to reference Afrofuturism today. So that's what we're focusing on for today, and I'll go a little bit deeper into that, like how that relates to self-care and whatnot.
One thing that I would take from this whole experience, my whole 3 years of being here, from to when I graduate high school and going into college, is just to be myself a little bit more and to speak up.
Our programming helps amplify the voices of these young women so that they truly will be leaders of tomorrow. Isn't it inspiring? I mean,
to have your own voice. Yes.
Yes. To have these young women have role models, have the skills, feel the confidence, and to work together to be able to say they matter, they can vote, they can have careers, they can be and will be, I'm convinced, the champions and our change agents of the future.
That they matter.
That they matter, and that, as a woman, professional woman, we know what it's like to have your career and not always be heard. It's especially difficult for girls of color. And to be able to have that kind of support and training is just wonderful.
Yes, it is.
So it's that time in the program where I'm going to ask all of you who are watching to invest in the children and the young women we serve. They need your support. To donate, you can text Salute 2020 to 44321. You can also, watching it on your computer, just scroll down and donate right there. We have a very special challenge from our friends at the Cleveland H. Dodge Foundation, longtime supporters of the YW. They are going to match 100% any gift from a new donor. And so that means if you give $1,000, it's going to be $2,000 today. 500 is 1,000. 100 is $200. So please give as generously as you can, knowing your donation. It's 100% tax deductible, given we're going remote, and it's going to go directly to our programs. Now that you've gotten a taste of what the YW offers, here are more details of what $10,000 can do for the children and young women we serve. $10,000 is an investment in the YW's bystander intervention program, Step In and Stop It. This program arms young women with the tools to speak up for what's right, to not be a bystander when they hear racial slurs, gender bias, or bullying. It supports the development of their voices, their agency, to become leaders in their communities, and to have the confidence to speak up.
$5,000 brings Everyday Heroes, the YWNYC Social Justice Art Department, which happens to be my favorite, to 50 elementary school students in Brownsville and Coney Island in Brooklyn. The kids learn to identify who the everyday heroes are in their own community and how they can be a hero in their own lives. Now, that's pretty amazing because they're connecting to someone in their environment. Press that button, please.
An investment of $2,500 supports our ability to provide remote tutoring and social emotional learning during COVID-19. This includes everything from wellness checks for the family to help navigating distance learning for our kids. So many of our families live in neighborhoods that have spotty internet, so all is not equal in this remote world. The YW supports students so they can complete their homework and understand the remote lesson plans given so many challenges.
$1,000, the YW provides free summer camp to 600 boys and girls at local public schools. This includes enrichment programs from art, theater, sports, music, and STEM. Given COVID-19, summer camp in 2021 will likely be hybrid model, but it will be a big relief to families knowing that their kids have a safe and stimulating place to be in the summer.
For $500, you can invest in the YW's fabulous College Knowledge and Readiness program for high school girls that exposes them to colleges and universities they might not have considered and a path to navigate the college application process. Many of the young women in this program are first-generation college students or immigrants who need support to help them achieve their dreams.
For $500, the YW provides a fabulous college knowledge and readiness program to high school girls that expose them to college and universities they might not have considered, and a path to navigate the college application process. If I had not had this, I would have not went to college myself. So it is so important and so valuable. Many of the young women in this program are first-generation college students or immigrants who need support to help them achieve their dreams.
$250 supports our signature Stand Against Racism initiatives, including the annual Poetry Slam, where students perform their own art and express their emotions during these turbulent times. To give that safe space to articulate what their experience around them each day is just so powerful. And for $100, that gives the opportunity for the YW to send STEM project packages to the homes of our high school geek girls so that they can continue to learn remotely. It is not exactly the same as being in person, but at least we're able to provide during COVID-19 educational programming and materials to the girls so they keep learning and they can explore science, technology, math, engineering, and look at that through a gender and racial justice lens. It's very powerful. I want to just remind all of you that any new donors will have their gift matched 100%, and no amount is too large, or for that matter, too small. And
Right.
we are just really appreciative. So now you've seen in the videos and heard a lot from our elementary and also schools and our high school girls. So our next video showcases our 2 wonderful middle school programs.
What keeps me coming back to the YWCA after school program is passion. I still remember what it is to be a 6th grader. I still remember how uncomfortable it was for me being a 7th grader. I still remember how I felt as an 8th grader going to high school. I know in my heart that that is the molding process for a lot of young men and women. The future is the children.
The out-of-school time programs of the YWCA of the City of New York continues to offer quality after-school programs and summer camps in Brooklyn and West Harlem. Our programs are community-driven and expand learning opportunities that support developmentally appropriate cognitive, social, physical, and emotional outcomes. We serve middle school students at Brooklyn School for Collaborative Studies in Carroll Gardens.
I find it like a really welcoming kind of place, and no one's there to judge you. It's just a really like welcomed place where no one is gonna harm you or like, you know, you'll feel more down. If anything, it just makes you feel better. Do dance or art, and you know, sometimes for photography, which I really enjoy.
And New Design Middle School in West Harlem. Additionally, we provide resources to parents in an effort to work with the entire family unit. We operate on the philosophy of youth development. Our programs utilize enrichment activities to elevate the voices of our young constituents, such as the photography program at New Design Middle School. We provide effective practices within our programs to help children and their families address racism, social justice, and social equity by encouraging them to have a voice as they can make a difference.
Kindness. Listening to other people's opinions and also like teachers, it really like helps your perspective change on that. And so yeah, I would bring kindness with me because the YW after school has really taught me that a lot.
In schools, in housing, in my neighborhood. Did you know that 70%, the number of Black and Latino students in New York City schools, 10.6% the number of Black and Latino students in good schools, forever learn from the past, to teach their kids that hate is wrong fast. Racism is passed down from adult to kid. I hope one day people will stop losing their lid and learn that everybody's equal to each other. We all are human and came from a mother. We all want to be happy and not feel sad. We all get 10 shoulders when we get mad. These are some things that makes us sing. This is why Black history is just not a game. It teaches us a lesson that we still need to see, that everyone can live in peace and harmony. Thank you.
Justice. 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 Peace. Peace. Together. Together. Together.
We did the lesson on Stop the Violence, and we created posters, and being able to watch them express their creativity onto these posters and exactly what they feel about the situation, about the nonviolence. It just shows me, how thoughtful they are, how loving, their minds are, and they just want to create change.
I got it straight!
A Dolores Huerta! Remember the loudest, here we go. I've got the word. Of Audre Lorde. I've got the tenacity. Of Malala Yousafzai. The strategy. Of Cesar Chavez. The patience. Of Nelson Mandela.
So, can you all tell me what you love about the YW after school program?
In the Y, you can get parties, and when they throw parties, it's much more cooler because there's so much people, and then we get to do fun things like we could draw, we can get pizza, we can protest, we can make other voices heard, and that's really good.
YWCA! YWCA!
The YWCA and the protesting made it feel good because yelling makes me feel like I'm being heard. It makes me feel like I'm not the only one here talking to a wall. I'm actually talking to someone who actually cares.
It warms my heart a lot to hear so much positivity from them, especially with everything going on today. They are absolutely resilient. They came back, and I see them, they're actually more motivated to be in school.
3, 2, 1.
Do you have anything you want to add?
Oh, yes. So, if you want to be something when you grow up, or if there's someone who is teasing you about something, don't ever do it, okay? If someone is teasing you for your sexuality or because of this and that, do not listen to them. Just keep trying and just keep moving, okay? And that's all.
Wow.
You know, the thing for me is that when I'm listening to these children and the teachers and the support base is that what they're asking us is to recognize that their lives matter so that they can live to fulfill their dreams.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think many people think about that there are young children walking around in the world just hoping that they can live to fulfill a dream. And whether these little children look like you or not, what they have that you have is a heart wish to be happy and to matter. And we need to be brave enough, Maureen, to become the person in the world we want to see.
Exactly.
Yes, yes. Now, we still have a few more treats for you, but before Maureen and I say goodbye, I know, Maureen, there are some people and partners that you would like to thank for their generosity and kindness.
Absolutely. I first would like to thank the staff of the YW who show up every day, who are so committed, and of whom I'm very, very proud. I want to give a special shout out to Juan Reina, who produced most of the videos and really captured what we're about. And hopefully all of you watching experience the YW in a different way. I would like to also just thank our dedicated board. These women are phenomenal in their support and vision of how we can expand what the YW does. And we're 162 years old as an organization, but we have always been committed to social justice and women's empowerment, and will continue to do that. I so appreciate our generous sponsors today. And for Salute, without you, we can't do all this programming.
Right.
And we also have so many sponsors and partners who help us in our different programs, from being role models to the girls, or volunteering, or exposing them to careers. It's just wonderful.
Yes.
And thank you to our partners at our different schools. That's PS 90, PS 188, PS 327, PS 329, the School for Brooklyn Collaborative Studies, and New Design Middle School.
Yes.
We so enjoy working with you. We know it's a partnership, and we appreciate all you give to the children. So thank you. And now, if you haven't given, you still can. So
That's
scroll
right.
down and make a donation. Gifts will be doubled if you're a new donor. And just know that we appreciate you. We want you to be part of our ongoing community. And thank you for sharing this time with us.
Yes, it has been awesome.
And then I would just finally like to say thank you, Naima. It's been a pleasure hosting this show with you.
Well, I think we make a great team, and thank you for allowing me to see what it is, the powerful work that you, your staff, everyone does. It's been my pleasure.
Thank you.
Wow, what a great program. I hope you all enjoyed it as much as I did. I'm Allison Martyr-Schweitzer, Vice Chair of the YWCA of the City of New York. It was so exciting and powerful to see the work that our team does in the communities that we serve. I want to thank you so much for taking the time today to attend our virtual Salute show and learn a little bit more about what we're doing. I first became involved with the YW about 4 years ago. The mission of eliminating racism, empowering women, and standing up for justice for all just resonated with me in so many ways. But watching that mission being carried out in the work that we're doing in the communities we serve every single day has just strengthened my engagement with this organization. I really believe that the work we're doing is more important than ever, but there's so much more that we need to do. I want to take a few minutes just to thank our staff, many of whom have been impacted by the COVID-19 virus, yet they still come in and show up for the kids every day. I want to thank the principals and the teachers in the schools in which we work. I want to thank the parents, and most important, I want to thank the kids for the resilience that they've shown through this really challenging time. Their strength has inspired me. You've been really generous with your time this afternoon, so I'll be short. As I said earlier, the work that we're doing is more important than ever, yet there's so much more to do. Please consider becoming part of our community and making a difference in the lives of many kids in New York City in underserved and under-resourced neighborhoods. Thanks again, stay safe and be healthy. Bye-bye.
Resilience. Resilience.
Resilience.
Resilience.
Resilience.
Resilience. Resilience.
Resilience.
Resilience.
Resilience. Resilience.
Awesome. Ken?
Resilience. Resilience.
Resilience. Resilience.
Resilience.
Resilience.
Resilience.